Hello, I'm William Target and welcome to another episode of Know Your History, where this week we'll be focusing on the origins of East Thurrock United. Founded in 1969, East Thurrock is one of the newer teams in the Isthmian League. A local Sunday League team affiliated with Corringham Social Club had endured a successful decade over the 1960s, leading to the formation of a senior non-league club to represent the Corringham and Stanford-le Hope area. They played their inaugural season in the Southern Essex Combination League, finishing third, before moving to the reserve division of the Greater London League in 1970. Continuing their early success, East Thurrock won this division twice in a row, after which they were moved up to Division 2 of the senior divisions of what was by now named the Metropolitan London League, following a merger with the Metropolitan League. The Division 2 title was claimed at the first attempt to make it 3 league titles in the club's first 4 years of existence, and claimed promotion to the First Division. Having hit the ground running as a football club, East Thurrock's progress was halted somewhat as further mergers and restructurings with the Spartan League followed over the back half of the 70s, eventually seeing the club placed into the Premier Division of the London Spartan League in 1978, with the club leaving to join the Essex Senior League a year later. The 80s were a comparatively lean decade compared to the 70s for East Thurrock, with the club having to wait until the 1988-89 season to collect their next piece of silverware, winning the League Cup. In 1991-92 season would see them win the League Cup yet again, alongside a third place finish in the Essex Senior League that was enough to earn promotion to Division 3 of the Isthmian League. Following another decade spent in this division, East Thurrock rang in the new millennium by winning the Division 3 title, earning promotion to Division 2 of the Isthmian League. A league restructuring 2 seasons later saw the club placed into the Isthmian Division 1 North, before being moved out of the Isthmian League altogether following another restructuring, this time into the Eastern Division of the Southern League for the 2004-05 season. It wasn't long, however, before they were back in the Isthmian League again, being promoted to the Isthmian Premier after 1 season after winning their division of the Southern League. In the 2007-08 season, the club suffered their first ever relegation, a 1-point deduction to fielding an ineligible player being enough to see them drop into the Isthmian Division 1 North. The next 2 seasons would end in identical frustrating fashion, as on both occasions East Thurrock qualified for the playoffs, only for their journey to promotion to be ended in the semi-finals by Concord Rangers. Third time would prove to be the charm, however, as East Thurrock bypassed the playoffs altogether by winning the division to get back into the Isthmian Premier. The following season, 2011-12, would see the club reach the first round of the FA Cup for the first time in their history, losing 3-0 at home to League 2 Macclesfield Town. The season after, East Thurrock qualified for the playoffs, but once again fell at the semi-final stage, this time to Lowestoft Town. In the 2014-15 season, East Thurrock again made the first round of the FA Cup, and again were knocked out by League 2 opposition, this time a 2-0 defeat at Hartlepool United. Following the pattern of their last FA Cup appearance, East Thurrock would qualify for the playoffs a year later, but this was to be a far more successful foray than any of their previous attempts in the format. Tonbridge Angels were dispatched to the semi-finals before a 3-1 victory over Dulwich Hamlet saw the club reach the National League South. Unfortunately, the club were unable to continue their rise up the pyramid, being relegated back into the Isthmian Premier for the 2019-20 season, in which East Thurrock held a comfortable mid-table position before the season was halted due to the coronavirus pandemic. Thanks for joining me for this week's episode of Know Your History. Please join me again next week. We'll be covering the history of another team in the Isthmian Premier.